Yes, this is Smart Bosco. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate your support. And today I want to talk about debts. Guys, one of the most distressing things is when you have debts. Debts can really make your life so miserable. Debts can make you live a very miserable life because you wake up every morning and people are on your neck because you have their debts, and it is not a very good experience. Debt makes you to be so much unproductive. You can never be productive when you have debts, and that's why I am just doing this video from experience, that if possible, avoid debts. And if you have to get debts, ensure that you have what we call good debts that can be repairable the quickest. Don't accumulate debts that you cannot be able to pay. Sometimes we normally think that without borrowing we won't survive, but one of the key things I'm learning is that emergency can still wait. Just wait and see what will happen without you borrowing that money. So I want to encourage us, please, let's avoid debts, because actually debts can kill you. Debts can kill you. It's very easy for you to commit suicide because of debts. It's very easy for you to be isolated, and your social life is messed up because of debts. Yeah, because when you have debts, you tend to keep it to yourself. You tend to avoid people because possibly the people you're letting with, you have their debts, and so it messes up your social life. It does mess your social life. Debts isolate you, and so we've got to avoid debts at all costs, because you will live a very stressed life. And that's why I'm encouraging us, let us try our level best and ensure that we don't accumulate debts. And if you have debts, find out how you can begin paying them. Yes, find out how you can begin paying them so that you can be free. One of the best freedoms I've noted is for you to wake up in the morning and you don't have debts. Wake up in the morning and you don't owe anyone a single dollar, single shilling. That is the best life. And I know many of us, we have accumulated debts not because we want it, possibly because we never plan ourselves well. You've accumulated debt because of pressure from friends, pressure to acquire some things that you don't necessarily need. And if possible, avoid buying anything from loans, because when you get loaned, that is a grave that you get into. And so when you have debts, I think for me debts are like digging your own grave and burying yourself alive. And so you've got to avoid debts at all costs. Avoid debts at all costs, because debts will kill you. Debts will mess up your life. And like I've said, death is actually like digging your own grave and burying yourself there and you're not dead. Yes, that is exactly how I can describe it. Having debt It's basically burying yourself when you are alive, and that is something that you need to avoid at all costs. Because the day you take that loan, the day you borrow that money, then you're doomed. So you find your life basically stands and you cannot make any progress. And so let us avoid debt at all costs. I will not lie to you and encourage you to acquire debts. I will encourage you to try as much as possible to use what you have. Use what you have. Use that 1 shilling. If you need 10 shillings, I would rather you use the money that you have. Don't borrow money. I'm sharing this video from experience. I'm sharing from experience because I've experienced it. And I'm coming out of it. You still have power to remove yourself from there by making very drastic decisions. Never borrow money. Never borrow money, because that is where your life is messed up. Possibly the joy that you're missing because of the debts that you have. But the moment you're free, when you don't owe anyone any shilling, then you're good. Yeah, that is the freedom that I'm looking for. That's the freedom I know you're looking for. And so friends, please avoid debts at all costs, because debts, like I've said, it is like burying yourself alive, and you're in that casket. You cannot move, you cannot enjoy life, you cannot make any progress, because you're really trapped in debt. You owe everyone. And I know if you're watching this video, you can relate to that. You can relate to that if you're in debt. But I wish all of us all the best. The good news is that you can really come out of it. Even if it's a big challenge, you can still come out of it. But you must make that decision. You must make that decision of saying you're willing to unchain yourself from that chain, because it's a chain of debts. I think if there is the worst thing, or is basically the worst situation that you can be in. I know there are many other situations that you can be in, but I think the worst is that. And you know, when you owe someone some money, like just the way the Bible says, you are their slave. They will call the shots, and you tend to compromise your privacy, to compromise your confidential things, because you owe people money. So me, I'm not encouraging anyone to owe anyone money at all. So I'm wishing you all the best. I believe you're going to be debt free very soon. So go for it, and all the best. I wish you the best.